Hi everyone, and welcome to another Bass Singer reaction and analysis. Today we are going to be looking at BTS performing Fix You, originally by Coldplay, on MTV Unplugged Presents BTS. Now I actually just saw, this is my first time seeing this video, but I saw that Koofy, shout out to the Koofy gang, I saw that he made a video of this earlier today, and I obviously didn't watch his because this will be a first time for me, but I just saw it and I was like, you know what, I want to make a video for that. The original is one of my favorite pieces of all time. Absolutely stunning, beautiful piece by Coldplay. I did it with my group in undergrad called Exit 245. It works really well as an a cappella arrangement too. So I figured, you know what, let's just go ahead and dive into this one. I think it's going to be really interesting. And I know nothing about BTS, aside from that I know they're a worldwide sensation right now. But as far as the singers, their voices, I do not know this group. So I will basically be hearing them for the first time as well. Guys, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. It's free, takes no time, really helps my channel grow. And if you are enjoying this content, if you are learning something, if I'm adding value to your musical experience, then please consider donating to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. And one more final quick plug. I have raised the $12,000 for the professional music video I'm doing, my cover of Enemy by Imagine Dragons. And I'm now raising a bit more money to do a professionally made behind-the-scenes video to be shot secondarily while the actual video shoot is going on, and it's going to be edited in this documentary style. Going to be very cool. I'm really kind of milking every bit I can out of this professional music video experience. So I'm raising another $3,000 for that. I'll leave the GoFundMe in the description below, and I would really appreciate any donations you could help me with this project and making it the best it can be. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. The clock is running. Got about 25 minutes to break down this video, and let's check out BTS performing Fix You. Oh, I was a few seconds in. Let's go back to the very top, get that first chord. So first, before they even start singing, let's see where we are. The original is E flat major. Okay, so not E. I think they're one half step up. So it looks like BTS is doing this a half step up from the original. Maybe the voices are suited for that. Maybe there's a copyright issue, hard to say. And it starts much akin to how the original starts. We've kind of got this organ-like instrument happening. It sounds like it's a synth-created organ, like an electronic organ of some kind. But we've got an organ sound, and there's also this sense of airiness coming through as well in this instrumentation. It almost sounds like a kind of flute that is layered on top of the organ. Just listen to that sound, and I'll let it play through to when they start singing. And you won't be able to hear this in your mono version, most likely, but if you listen to this original video, you can hear this kind of going back and forth, panning between the two ears, just kind of giving a little bit of atmosphere and scope to the soundscape.
When you try your best, but you don't succeed. When you get what you want, but not what you need. When you feel so tired, but you can't sleep. Stuck in river.
Oh, very nice. All right, so we have some very nice, very light head voice singing. E major. So up to G sharp 4 in head voice, keeping it very light, which is exactly where the original starts and how I believe this piece should start in whatever version, because it gives you a place to go, and anyone that knows this cover or the original knows that we have a big climax in the song we're heading towards. Once that electric guitar comes in, it really builds to a more big kind of chorus-like sound, where I'm going to expecting to be all, I think, 7 voices in this group are going to be going full tilt to really give it that gravity. Originally done by, what's his, is he English, the original singer for Coldplay? American or English. So there's obviously a language barrier here. But I can clearly, I mean, it's very intelligible, and I mean, I'm going to assume radically different languages in terms of phonetically how the languages sound. What these singers grew up speaking natively versus singing in English, either American or British, whatever. So they're doing a great job with a very radical language barrier as well. The fact that it's easy to understand the words that they're saying. So hats off there. Let's go back and actually we'll keep moving forward. We've got it's a pretty long song originally, about 5 minutes. So unless they do something crazy and shorten it, we don't have I can't spend as much time as I'd like to, but I'll make sure to hit the highlights here, talking about their vocalism.
When you feel so tired, but you can't sleep, stuck in reverse.
So he's starting that phrase in his chest voice. Stuck, and then he flips as he goes up. Stuck in reverse. I do it sooner because I'm a bass, so I would flip sooner naturally. You can hear him flip up into his head voice. Now, in the chest voice, it's already a breathy, airy quality, so there's not as dramatic a shift as if he were, belting hard in his chest voice and then flipped up into head voice, where there'd be a clear distinction between the chest and the falsetto singing. Instead, they're both methods this singer is using are pretty breathy and soft, so it's a smoother transition than you might get otherwise. Listen as he goes up here. Maintains a similar quality throughout.
When the tears come streaming down your face,
Octave down.
when you lose something you can't replace, when you love someone but it goes to waste, could it be worse?
I really like how they're spreading the solo around, and they even had a duet moment there where they were just singing an octave. So we had someone singing more in the baritone register. You could feel a little more of that low resonance in the voice. Maybe that singer normally sings the low harmonies. Just timbrally sounded more baritone-y. And then we had the octave up. Again, everyone's kind of adopting this very breathy, intimate, kind of in-your-ear singing, which I think makes a lot of sense for the first verse of this piece. But I like that they're passing the solo around. I think that's a great way to do it. Keep it interesting so we keep hearing different voices. Even if they're all singing similarly, the voice is like the fingerprint. Everyone has a very unique color and quality to their voice that you wouldn't mimic. I mean, some people are very good at mimicking voices. You can kind of imitate people doing that, but everyone does have a unique color and quality to their voice. It's very interesting about the human voice that way. And so it's cool to hear all these different singers, even when approaching the vocalism the same way, you can still hear clear differences in just kind of naturally how their voices sound. And let's keep going. We are just about a minute in right now. I'll back it up a few seconds. Here we go.
Lights will guide you and
ignite. So we got lead voice here, purple microphone, and we have harmonies and ignite happening in the left and right ear. But I thought this was the only person singing, so that means they have harmonies already tracked in. So I think let me fact check myself here. Yes, so there's one person singing, but you can clearly hear extra voices singing harmonies in the left and right ear if you watch the original. If not, you'll hear it right in the middle if you're watching my video. So that's interesting that they have pre-tracked, pre-layered harmonies, even though there are 7 singers there who could totally sing both of those harmonies. It's not like they're rangy or anything. So interesting choice in this performance. A little more chest voice coming in. Keeping the breathy singing going. Little piano coming in, very nice. Very similar to the original so far in terms of instrumentation and style. Cool, so we had piano coming in addition to this synth organ. We of course have guitar. I don't know if there's a live band somewhere or if this is all pre-tracked that they're singing along to. Can't tell. They're only showing the singers. It sounds like there's 2 to 3 singers happening at any given moment, and this time they're just doing it straight in octaves. So they did it for one piece of that first verse, but now there's a consistent baritone octave happening below the tenor octave, which is just, in addition to the extra instrumentation, is just giving a little more gusto, a little more meat to this cover as they're adding voices in. It's getting further away from the stripped down and getting more towards a wall of sound. Still a long way to go till we get to a wall of sound, but I just mean one step in that direction of kind of a full sound. So let's just back it up a few seconds and yeah, keep going. I'm really enjoying this so far. It's very similar to the original, very stripped down, you know, but they're doing a lovely job with it. And singing very in tune live, which is very good. So let's talk about this singer. More using scooping in the vocalism as opposed to the previous singers coming straight in on the pitch for the most part. This singer is adopting a scoop up into the pitch, which changes the delivery. You know, it changes the vibe of the singing here. So just listen to this. The singer starting below the pitch and kind of scooping up into the pitch. And ignite. Just a slide in there. Obviously an artistic choice in this case. It's not like this is a difficult vocal line for any of these talented singers to do. So sometimes scooping can be used kind of as a handicap to the singing if the singer isn't comfortable going straight up to the pitch and starting right in the middle there. But I don't think that's the case here. I think this is just an artistic choice. And again, you know, adding a little bit of variety and contrast between all these singers. Still the baritone octave as well. Try to fix you. I like that harmony. So that was 3 singers, which I think is the most we've had so far. They're really pumping the brakes here, getting this thing going, which is great. It's going to add this. We're about to get a huge contrast if it follows the track of the original. There's that guitar. Come on. Let's go. How to not look awkward sitting on stage while an instrumental's happening. That takes mature performers. Come on. Let the beat So this is very, everything so far is very similar to the original. All the instrumentation, all the vocalism. What I think, I can't remember exactly what the harmony situation is like in the original. We have our lead singer. Oh God, I really should know his name. I've seen him perform live. I should really know Coldplay lead singer name. So comment below, refresh my memory. Or actually, I'll probably add it in the post-production on this video. But it's very similar to the original. So, in covers, I often like when a group kind of takes the original song, gathers the core of it, and then puts their own spin on it, really makes it their own. So far, this really is just, kind of a vocal cover, albeit done quite well. And, of course, very nice voices shown off here. But so far there hasn't been anything radically different from the original, which I personally like to see in covers. That's why Voice Play right now is probably my favorite a cappella group, is because their arrangements are so absurdly creative, and they always take risk. They always take artistic risk when they do covers, both in the audio engineering side, the arranging side, the vocal side. And even when they put videos together, they do stuff that you wouldn't expect, like funny things. So that's a big thing I advocate for in covers. It's what I'm trying to do more of now with my music is, really get the core of the original, but make it my own. It's something Tommy P does extremely well. Shout out to Tommy P, wonderful a cappella producer and arranger and singer. So we're not getting that kind of creative spin in this cover. We are really getting just a straight up vocal cover of this Coldplay original, which is already a masterpiece. It's just a beautiful ballad. Sad, heart-wrenching, but beautiful. So that's kind of more the vibe of this. Here's Chesswood. Two voices. Okay, still two voices. There we go. That's kind of what I was waiting for. High C sharp. I think so. This is what I was waiting for. The kind of climax of this song. We've got multiple singers happening. We've got drums. We've got this electric guitar going. We've got all the instrumentation. And now we have singers singing high in their chest voice, high in their belt voice. I believe this singer just went up to a C sharp. So 1/2 step above tenor high C, which is very, very high. It's called tenor high C for a reason. A very high belt. So I love that. Now we're getting towards this wall of sound that you've just got to have in this song. Unless, like I said, you're going to do some crazy spin on it where you completely strip it down and turn it into like a chamber choir type thing. But if you're gonna play it, sing it like the original, this moment's got to be big. This climax of the song has got to be a climax, and so I'm happy to see them doing that, executing that. C sharp. So that singer stayed in more of what I would call a voix mix, or a mixed voice, or a reinforced head voice, or reinforced falsetto. The first singer that went up there, up to that C sharp 5, did it in, I think, full chest, or a very chesty mix. This sounded more like mixed voice when this singer went up there. This singer here on the second from the left with the blue sparkly microphone. It's a little more mixy, not quite as much weight in the sound. we go. And ended it like the original as well. Very stripped down. One voice. Drums are gone. Most of the instrumentation's gone. We've got what? Piano left? Just piano left. Fix you. And we're still in E major. 1/2 step up from the original. I liked some vocalism happening here. This singer was adding a bit of scoop and vocal fry to show a little more fragility and vulnerability in the voice, as opposed to, doing anything kind of robust to finish the song. It makes sense to kind of leave us here in this vulnerable place at the end of this ballad. And stuff like that. And ignite. Just stuff like that, like intentionally making the voice weak and kind of vulnerable sounding. Very nice touch, and I love when artists are willing to get vulnerable with their voice, because it adds so much to a performance. We want to feel it, we want songs like this to make us cry. This song has certainly made me cry one time or another, and we get that from the kind of vocalism that makes these singers human. It takes them off this pedestal of being superstars and makes them relatable. And that's what's so powerful in pop music, especially because it reaches so many people. And you can do vocalism like this, especially when you've got a microphone and amplification. You don't have to worry about volume. It's a great thing about this kind of setting. Oh, no applause. I always like when we get to see the applause at the end of a performance. Okay. That was it. And I actually think, I wasn't sure what they were going to do with it. If they did a really complicated cover, it would have been tough to break down everything happening that was different from the original. But this was pretty much bar for bar the same as the original song in terms of instrumentation and vocally very similar as well. We had a few extra harmonies, I think, because we obviously have way more singers here. 7, I think, is right. A couple octaves happening that I don't think happened in the original. But overall, very similar to the original. Well executed. Awesome job with the language barrier. That's a huge run. I work with a lot of Asian singers and Asian American singers in the opera world. And, going from something like Mandarin to English or Mandarin to Italian is radically different. That's a huge language barrier those singers have to deal with that singers like me don't. American singers, English singers deal with a barrier to a bigger extent than Italian and French or so when we sing in Russian. We just did a Russian opera, Eugene Onegin, at the institution I'm at, and it's really hard to learn how to pronounce Russian properly. And to learn what you're saying. We worked with a number of very high-end Russian coaches to make sure we really sounded Russian when singing in Russian, because that's very important in opera, to sound fluent even if you aren't fluent, and to know what you're singing even if you aren't fluent. So I will always respect anyone up against a big language barrier. That's a huge difficulty that I don't think most people can appreciate until you've had to deal with it. Or, especially singing in another language, when you have to know so clearly what you're saying that you can convey the emotions as if it was in your original language or your native tongue. Anyway, guys, this was BTS performing Fix You on MTV Unplugged. I believe this is about a year ago this came out. Another shout out to Kofi and the Kofi gang just for popping up on my feed. And now I'm going to go see what he said about it because I wanted to make sure this is the first time. Yeah, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. If you're still here, I hope you appreciated this analysis. I hope you learned something about singing and music and the arrangement. That's really my goal here. It's really my goal to be partial entertainment and partially more really leaning towards more educational. The most valuable comments I get are the people who say stuff like, "Thank you so much for doing this. I've been listening to this song for 5 years and I never heard these parts you pointed out. and now I can appreciate this music more. That's like the whole, that's it, baby. That's why I do this. It's the main reason I created these videos and created this channel in a way so that's partial entertainment, mostly educational. To use my background as a professional singer and a professional music producer, I think it would be a waste to not share what I've learned over the last 10 years in music. And it's a joy for me to be able to bring it to you guys. So if you're still here, thank you so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Join my Patreon if you want behind the scenes access, early access to all this stuff, raw takes, access to my Discord server, interaction with me pretty much on a daily basis. And if you want to check out my stuff and support me on this music video I'm making, which is going to be absolutely bonkers, it is a combination of my background as a dubstep producer, EDM producer, bass vocalist, and opera singer, all of them coming together. It's maybe my project I'm most proud of out of anything I've ever made. That's why I'm going hard on raising all this money for the music video, because I'm super stoked about it. And the support I've gotten has been absolutely insane. And that's it, guys. I'm rambling. I'm talking. Thank you for sticking around, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.